All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the webinar of the M365 Tech Stack. Can everybody put a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me right and if you can see my screen? And if you have any questions during this webinar, please feel free to use the chat to put your question in. After every speaker, we're going to do one or two questions. And from there on, if your question isn't answered at the end of the webinar, we got a QR code. You can book a meeting directly in my agenda. I see a lot of thumbs up already coming in, so that's a good sign. And I think look at that, awesome. All right, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for joining us at the webinar of the Ultimate M365 Management Tech Stack. Let's first start with a short introduction about myself. I'm Robin Smith, and I'm an MSP solution advisor within Portland. And during this webinar, we're going to tell you everything about how the Ultimate M365 Management Tech Stack can help you manage your M365 tenants without taking a huge amount of your time. How we can make your M365 tech stack connected, profitable, and secure, and what kind of commercial opportunities it offers for you as an MSP. And we're taking a look at all the MSP businesses within the Benelux region, and we're trying to build them a high-performance MSP. And for a high-performance MSP, you need to have a high-performance tech stack. And a high-performance tech stack, it needs to contain profitability, security, and connected. And today, the three products that we took out of our portfolio got all those pillars inside of them. Of course, I know we took three of the products of our portfolio. You can take them individually within your tech stack, or you can secure them all with each other. So to give you some insights about the market growth, and why this is a very important part for you as an MSP to be part of. So why is it necessary? It's expected in 2024 and 25 that 99% of the cloud security incidents will be the result of the customer errors. And that's something that we can't be happening anymore with the NIS2 legislation and, of course, the GDPR. Successful ransomware attacks, that's surged by 96% of the first 4 months of 2024, and that's compared with 68% in the same period of 2023. That's from our friends Canalys. That's an analytical company within the Benelux region for the MSP market. I think 96% compared with 68% is insane. To give you a bit of insights about the growth of the market, the managed security service market will grow from 27.7 billion in 2022 to almost 50 billion in 2027. That's a 12.3 compound annual growth rate. Of course, next to the growth of the market, we got security challenges. So the average company uses 19,935 cloud services, and 83 of the companies encounter approximately, well, almost 3,000 threats by month. That's as well an insane amount. The market itself is, so we got the threats growing for M365, as well as the market itself in billions. So 299 billion in 2023 can grow by globally to 760 billion in 2030. That's an compound annual growth rate of 12.3%. And today we're going to focus with those three products, how you can be part of the growth and how you can secure those M365 tenants way better than we did before. And I can tell you all about it, but my colleagues and the speakers today can have way more expertise than I got. So we got Andrew Lynch from ConnectWise. He can tell you everything about the 24/7 security services of ConnectWise. We got Gavin Garbett, the old co-founder of Enable and now the co-founder of Augment. He can tell you everything about how to manage and how to secure your business. And we got Stefano Grisari, who's responsible for Hornet Security, very big in Germany, and we're taking that to the Benelux region as well. And he's going to tell you everything about how the Hornet Security Suite can help you way more profitability in M365. So Andre Lynch, can I please ask you to come on stage and to blow us away with your information? Hi, Andre. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thanks, Robin.
Just yet, but maybe it's mine technical because I can see that you're speaking.
Can you hear me, Robin?
Yes, we can hear you. All right, I will fix it on my own. Andre, if you can put your presentation up and blow us away with all the information that you got for us about ConnectWise and how we can be part of this market. All right. I think we can't hear you just yet. I see in the chat, Bram and Stefano can't hear you. Let me take a look on that. We see the presentation coming up. I think we can hear you. Yeah, there he is. I think. Nope. Oh, we hear the background noises.
Oh, you can't hear me. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Finally,
Oh,
how are
okay.
you doing?
Oh,
Thanks
good.
for
I'm good.
joining.
Goodness, technical issues. My goodness. All right. So yeah,
Always.
glad we got past that. So yeah, thanks, Robin. Thanks, Portland, for inviting me, and welcome to all the MSPs in the audience. So let's speak about ConnectWise. What is ConnectWise? So ConnectWise is the world's leading software company dedicated to the success of IT solution providers. So we do that through, as you can see, I've got our mission statement on screen, through our unmatched software, services, communication, and that's why more IT solution providers use our platform across the world than any other. So ConnectWise has over 40 years of innovative products and services, and we are security first in our software and MSP or partner first in our relationship. So that means that our company is filled with tech-loving, passionate people who simply want to make IT better. So from the top down, we're all dedicated to guiding our partners and the industry forward. So you don't have to take my word for it. You can just go over to our partner case study page and see what other MSPs are saying in terms of how we've helped them to grow their business and have the right go-to-market strategies. And so why ConnectWise? So if you think about the MSP space, none of these challenges are unfamiliar to you. So we've got a massive talent gap within the industry, as you can see. So that 2.5 million talent gap, finding good talent, retaining that talent is very, very difficult within this crowded marketplace. And also too, as Robin alluded to, all the growth we're seeing within the industry, your workforce will have to grow to try to meet the demands of your customers as well. Some might decide, actually, I can do it my own. I'll go and build my own SOC. Obviously, from a financial perspective, let's say as well too, from a process perspective and human resource perspective, that's quite challenging. So you can expect around 2 to 4 million euros as a cost if you want to go that particular route. So many hurdles are in your way if you want to go that particular direction. And then we think about all these different tools we've mentioned, cloud services, as Robin mentioned, that's a lot of noise generated, lots of alerts, thousands, hundreds of thousands of alerts. And then it's easy for your technicians to become fatigued, miss the right alerts you should be looking at, for example. And then that affects obviously the speed, the accuracy with which you can respond because you're juggling so many different tools, technologies, and wearing so many different hats within the organization. And so if you think about your business and your customers' businesses, there are 3 pillars, as you can see on screen, that are critical to your success and their success. It's having the right people with the right approach, the right attitude, the right expertise, for example. to conduct the different tasks they're entrusted with. You need to have the right processes in place, so the right game plan, the right framework for them to follow based on different scenarios they would encounter from a day-to-day perspective, and then obviously having the right technologies, whether that's from a business operational efficiency or it's in terms of creating the products and services that you need to provide your customers. So you need those three to be in synergy to be effective and successful. And it's the same thing within cybersecurity. Okay, you need to have the right people with the right experience, with the ability to take advantage of the information that they receive and know what to do with it. They need to have, once again, the process, so game plan, a blueprint to follow based on the scenarios that they would encounter on a day-to-day basis, and obviously having the most appropriate technology based on the types of threats that you see out there. And so when you think about ConnectWise and what we do from a cybersecurity perspective, as I said, we're leading in the space in terms of the MSP space. We've got the largest security operating center team. As you can see on screen, that's over 200 members. And because we're global, we see a lot. So that's 1.3 million security events every second. That's our stock dealing with those. And we've prevented, as you can see, 9 million attacks within our MSP partner base in the last year. So millions of devices we manage globally, but also too, the way that we work with you is we do the heavy lifting, and the MSP is the escalation point. So what that means is when we actually escalate something up to an MSP, it's actionable. It's something that needs your attention. So that's why, as you can see in the middle there, the false positive rate is 0.1%. So when we give something to your team, it's something that needs your attention. It's not tons of alerts you have to go through. Okay. This could be also created over 500 unique threat detections. So we have different teams in the ConnectWise SOC. One of them is what we call the cyber research unit. Basically, our threat hunters. And what they do is they scour the cybersphere essentially to find out, hey, how are the bad guys looking at new ways to get into our networks and your customers' environments? And then once we find those, we share that within the community and our product base, if that makes sense. I think probably for the audience, one of the most key ones, as you can see, is the bottom right statistic. So 70% more profitable. And that's because, as you can see, of our partner program, which I'll delve into a bit more. So let's delve into that 70% and the ConnectWise partner program. Now, why this is vitally important to MSPs is there's a massive opportunity within the SME space. And Robin kind of touched on it at the beginning of the webinar. So what small and medium-sized businesses will spend on managed services is expected to grow, okay? And it's expected to grow by $93 billion by 2026. So in other words, they will rely on managed service providers more than ever to evolve and stay one step ahead of their technological needs. So it doesn't matter if you look at the statistics on the left, it doesn't matter the size of the SMB, whether it's 1 to 4, 50 to 95, or 250 to 995, they will be spending far more on managed IT services than all of the IT services. And if you look at the graphic on the right, you will see that in Europe, we're expecting that growth to be 20%. So how can you be part of that 20% growth is the key question you should be asking yourself. Okay. So, but they're, capitalizing on this massive market opportunity doesn't come without its challenges. And MSPs face obstacles, as you can see on screen, that kind of prevent that growth. So for example, how do I actually accelerate my recurring revenue? Okay. How quickly can I go to market with a new product? How do I actually convey business value? Okay. It's a crowded marketplace. How do I stand out from the competition? How do I differentiate myself in this more complex MSP marketplace? And then I need to have the right tools, resources to grow my sales, to be able to go to market so I can target the right customer that's going to bring value and revenue my particular way. And so when you think about those challenges, that's why ConnectWise is here to help you overcome those business roadblocks and help you scale your business to achieve what we call that most ambitious vision of success. So the partner program by ConnectWise was developed by MSPs like yourself, who need that support in creating a winning go-to-market strategy to hit your goals, who need support in marketing tools and resources to generate new leads, get new business, and also to that sales guidance so you can learn best practices that support your entire sales cycles. And to that point, what you get with the program, as you can see on the left, is dedicated ConnectWise employees that embed themselves with your sales motion. So whether it's an account manager, whether it's what we call a partner development executive, who's going to work on those sales opportunities, let's say on a quarterly basis, and say, hey, how can we actually close this? What are the challenges you're facing with this customer? It includes as well, as you can see, access to a partner program where you have those playbooks, you've got toolkits, you've got a free marketing automation platform with lots of white label content that you can lift and shift and adjust and shape it to your likes. You also get like a marketing concierge. You get someone like a sales engineer or subject matter expert to help you close those deals, to help you sell your products, or actually tell the story of cybersecurity to your customers and help you at events and so forth. And you also do get the benefit of what we call our marketing development funds, where we put money back into your organization so you can then host these events and kind of have that kind of go-to-market strategy with your customers, as well as what we call NFR licenses for you to use the technologies, master those technologies, and to be better able to sell technologies that you use. It's a win-win situation. So what that means is, once you're in the program, you can see here, expect to grow 4 times faster than partners not within the ConnectWise partner program. Expect 17+% more profitability compared to other TSPs or MSPs within the space, but also to 10% more recurring revenue than the average MSP or the average TSP. And it's an award-winning program, as you can see. So very, very important. Have a chat with Portland if you're interested in the partner program. Okay. So I kind of talked about how we work together, how it's kind of like a team sport. We help you guys. There are also some other aspects of that team sport to cybersecurity. So we've partnered with a number of organizations to kind of help drive that. So for example, we've aligned with CISA in the US to kind of shape what good cybersecurity looks like within the SMB space, because that's our playing field essentially. We're also on Microsoft's Active Protections program. So we see threat intelligence as Microsoft sees it. So we're not waiting for Microsoft to release patches, to release advisories or bulletins. As they see those threats, we see them as well. So then we can be proactive on your behalf. And also too, we have aligned to the MITRE ATT&CK framework to kind of tell the story of how we see MSMBs being targeted. So as we see those threats coming in, we can kind of document those, what we call TTPs, and share the story in terms of how we see SMBs being targeted. And so obviously from a trust perspective, transparency perspective as well, you can go to our trust site and you can get and understand how we kind of protect your data and how we remain compliant with things such as GDPR, etc. Okay. So the ConnectWise SOC, once again, as I mentioned, MSPs are the escalation point. We talked about alerts, alert fatigue, speed to respond. So our ConnectWise SOC, as you can see, for those thousands of alerts that we receive on a daily basis, 94.3% of those are resolved by our SOC without MSPs being involved, which is really, really key. You get to work smarter and leaner instead of sitting through tons of alerts. We're focusing on the Microsoft Defender solution, but with us, we offer, as you can see, the choice of EDR solutions and just wrapping the SOC solution around it. Okay. So what does the SOC look like? Very briefly, I may not be able to do full justice, but there are 4 teams within the SOC. You've got your analysts. Once again, that's like your boots on the ground first responders. So something kicks off, they're on it, they're monitoring, they're analyzing, they're triaging, and they can also do proactive remediation to kind of isolate and contain and resolve that threat. They're also there as well, as you can see, for your 24/7 engagement. So if it's a hygiene issue, you've got a service question, a technical question, they're also there as well to help you. So a full service from the ConnectWise SOC. The engineers, they just help us do what we do much better. So I'm not going to spend much time on them. But then again, as I mentioned, we've got the cyber research unit. So once again, threat hunting, what are the new vulnerabilities, doing lots of research. We also publish lots of information in terms of our threat reports every quarter, I think every month now, essentially saying, hey, this is what we've seen within the MSP space and the SME space. These are the new threats. Here's how you can respond to them and so forth. Okay, so lots of good work. It is a full incident response service. So once again, 24/7, 365, from the time that particular threat has been identified, the ConnectWise SOC will work with you to get that issue resolved for your customers. So continuing those threats, when you think about from a regulatory perspective and insurance perspective, giving you a full root cause analysis to explain, hey, this is what happened, this is how it got into the system for reporting, obviously for GDPR. And then we also provide remediation steps. So once again, that speed to respond, we minimize that because we provide that expertise, once again, thinking about people, process, and technology, right? Okay, so we're talking Microsoft. So the beauty about what we offer MSPs and what Portland offers is us wrapping that excellent SOC service that I spoke about around the Microsoft Defender for Business solution. And the reason for that is, if you think about Microsoft Defender for Business, or Microsoft in general, they've invested billions of dollars over the last couple of years to really develop really strong security solutions within the enterprise space and obviously into the SME space. So with Microsoft Defender for Business, you're getting enterprise grade solutions or protection. That's nice and easy, nice cost, and quite ubiquitous. And don't take my word for it. We think about Gartner, the Forrester, the rest of the industry. They recognize that Microsoft is a leader within the security space. And so what we've done, as I said, is we've kind of wrapped the SOC service around this EDR solution. So you bring your own licenses. Okay, you have your own licenses. We wrap the SOC service around it. Essentially, we've got an agreement with Microsoft at the vendor level, which gives us the ability to access only the data, the alerts, the information associated with threats within your Microsoft environment. So it's not a full carte blanche access to your tenant or your customer's tenant. It's specifically security related to those alerts. So the licenses that you would be required to have would be Defender for Business. It could be O365 Defender Plan 2. It could be standalone Microsoft Defender for Business, or it can come with the E5 packages. But we need the EDR to wrap the SOC around it to do what we do, which is, essentially what you'll be able to do within your Microsoft portal, which is run scans, collect information about those packages, being able to kind of kill and quarantine by stopping processes, quarantining files, and then restricting any suspicious or malicious apps from actually executing. And then once again, if you think about business continuity, being able to isolate devices and contain those devices. So everything that you can do in responding to that threat within your own environment, we've been empowered through the relationship with Microsoft to do that as well. So what you can expect, here's just a couple of screen grabs or screenshots in terms of what that looks like from a ConnectWise SOC analyst perspective. So we have our own what we call SOAR technology, so security, orchestration, automation response technology, which pulls in all the information about this threat. So the SOC analyst has a very good idea of which customer it is, what type of threat, which user, which device, and then a good description, as you can see on screen, in terms of what is this threat. And once they click on that URL link, it will take them directly to that particular threat. So once again, it's not full access to your tenant, it's only the information specific to the EDR and dealing with that particular threat. So we can see everything about the threat here. We can see command line information, the user. We can see obviously that storyline on screen. So we can see, hey, how did this actually propagate and manifest itself within this customer environment? And from there, just as you would be able to do, we can kill, we can quarantine, we can mark it as a true, false positive, provide all that good information, and do anything you can do from within the console, okay? So the benefit of this, obviously, you get that, once again, thinking about people, process, and technology. You've got the people and process side from ConnectWise. People who understand security. We've been doing this for a good 8+ years within the SMB space, MSP space. We've got a robust incident response plan and lifecycle that we follow. And then with the great technology, obviously being Microsoft Defender for Business, you've got those 3 pillars covered. So what you get is that peace of mind that you've got experts 24/7, 365, monitoring your environment, responding with the capabilities that they have. When you think about compliance, NIST 2, for example, as Robin mentioned, you can check that box off with that kind of response and remediation piece. And it's about ensuring business continuity. So having the people and the capabilities to quickly get your customers' business up and running. Okay. So I want to thank you for your time, and hopefully you've got a good understanding of how ConnectWise can help your business to achieve what we call your most ambitious vision of success. So I will turn it over to Robin for any questions.
Thank you so much, Andre. Thank you so much for all those insights. Mate, I don't know how you do it, but 23 slides and just going like a train, mate. It's insane. Thank you so much, man, for all the insights. And there's no specific questions from the chat itself, but I got a question myself that I hear a lot from partners, and it is there a limit on the size of the company to be working with a company as ConnectWise? Is there, because I hear a lot of partners were like, I am too small to use the SOC service. What's your expectation for it?
Great question. Well, there's no limitation. The way that ConnectWise functions, and we've actually developed our approach, is for you to scale. So it doesn't matter if you're what we call a one-man band, if you're a large organization with 500-600 employees, we are built to scale. And that's why things like the SOC, repeatable processes in place that we've got, helps facilitate that growth. So it doesn't matter how large you are, how large your customer is, we've got the resources to kind of scale, and you can bring anyone on board essentially.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Thank you so much, Andre, for all your insights. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
And we're going on to the next speaker. And those are 2. We got Gavin, of course, and George Smith. Gavin Garbett, welcome. And George, thank you so much for joining us on stage.
Robin, thank you for having us.
Of course. And we got a two-man show today.
That's right. We want to
Gavin,
keep this entertaining.
look at that. Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to give the stage to you guys. And please feel free. If you have any questions for Gavin or for George, please feel free to use the chat for the questions. Thank you so much, guys. And stage to you.
Thank you. Thanks everybody for joining the webinar today. This is great. Microsoft Security and Management is near and dear to my heart. As Robin said earlier, I was the co-founder and former CEO of Enable, where we invented the world's first remote monitoring and management platform for the channel back in 2000. And basically, we're here to talk about remote monitoring, management, and security for M365. So how do we help MSPs standardize and automate how you manage and secure Microsoft? So the whole point is, you guys know how much time your tech spend managing and securing and administrating M365 across your customer base. And we want to help you dramatically improve your profitability, save a ton of money by helping your techs be way more efficient, and helping you sell more premium Microsoft security by leveraging audits and reporting to show your customers exactly what's wrong and why they need your premium security services. To let you know, we have 15,000 MSPs, MSSPs, SMEs secured around the world. About 26% of that is in Europe. We are SOC 2 Type 2 certified, GDPR compliant, and we are actually opening our European data center in Germany in the next week. So all your data will be completely hosted and GDPR compliant, NIST 2, SOC 2, all. So we take that very seriously. So when you think about your M365 security and administration, if your techs are managing 5, 6 tenants, then you know what? I guess they can do it reactively in a manual mode, going tenant to tenant to tenant to tenant. Still not very efficient, still not great security. But imagine if you've got 20, 30, 50, 100, 1,000 tenants that you got to manage, and you're trying to go tenant by tenant by tenant by tenant to audit, to report, to configure, to monitor. You know, it's just impossible. And it results in just way too much time being spent and not having a profitable security practice or a scalable one. So when you think about that, you know, ask yourself, do your customers, when you sell them the Microsoft licenses, do they just assume that you're keeping those secure also, that you're probably monitoring and making sure the configurations and the data is all secure? Probably. And the answer is I'm sure yes. And if you think about it, just think of your competitors. Their SME customers probably believe that they're keeping them secure. And so the whole point, if you think about your security practice, is it reactive, again, going manually, tenant by tenant by tenant, or do you have a tool? Are you leveraging technology to standardize and automate how you do this? So what Andre was saying about his SOC service, that is a great option for MSPs to be looking at helping protect their customers. And what we're talking about here is a tool that you can leverage in-house so that you can be able to automatically import all of your customers, whether they're managed or not managed, anybody who you sell Microsoft licenses to, and you can automatically give them an audit report to show exactly where the security issues. So do you do that today? Do you do it manually? Do you not do it at all? Or do you have a system to standardize and automate this across all of your customers? Think of the same thing, Microsoft security policy and posture management. You need to, you know, close the windows, lock the door at night to be secure. You can't just leave them open and then hope to have alerting tell you that there's all these problems happening. You have to lock it down first so that you eliminate most of the problems. And so again, when you bring on a new customer or you go and do a hardening project, do you have to go in and do that in a manual way, or can you just press a button and apply security policies and posture templates across your customer, across all customers or groups of customers to really lock down and harden their environment? And then if there's drift, do you have a system to automatically in real time provide you with alerts? And those go to your PSAs so you can take action and remediate that. And then from an administrative and management, employee offboarding, onboarding, group management, license management, do you have a system of record across all of your customers so that you can do that in a multi-tenant, least privileged security way? So this is the whole idea, is being able to have that view across all of your customers, standardize, automate how you secure and how you manage them, and dramatically improve the productivity of your techs and make your techs so much more happy because they're not having to do all those manual menial tasks. They're able to go and do real security work that's going to make you money. And what you see in this is that a reactive service provider, their tech can manage about 150 users, where a managed with all of these standardized and automated systems can manage 600 up to 1,000 users. So just think of what that does to the productivity and the profitability of your managed service provider and the security of your customers. So what we do at Augment is first of all, we provide you with the security audit tool. So you can go to all of your customers, whether they're managed or not, regardless of how many licenses you buy from us. This is a free tool that we give you to go and audit everybody. So you can show them exactly what's wrong, and then you can sell them, you can provide them the option of taking your premium Microsoft security services. So you show them what's wrong, you show them where the policies and postures are weak, what their security scores, and George is going to actually show this in the product in a second. And then you go in and you configure those environments in an automated, standardized way, and then you have the real-time monitoring, remediation, and you can have automated reporting go to the customer on a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, whatever you like. And so what our partners do is they use this audit, then configure, then monitor, remediate, and report as a premium part of their premium service or as a hardening service to their customers, and they charge them accordingly. And so this is super high productivity, but also real revenue generating for the MSP. And we supply all the sales and marketing programs for our partners to go to market and to really go out and make some additional MRR on premium Microsoft security services. So at this point, I've talked to probably more than enough. I'd love George to jump into the product and show you actually how this relates to your business.
Thank you, Gavin. Just swapping over here to the Augment platform. Just a thumbs up, Robin, if you can see that we're in the Augment platform now instead of the presentation. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Here we are going to be doing a whirlwind tour of the Augment platform, but please know that if you are interested in learning more, to contact Robin and the team at Portland for a more in-depth view. So here we are looking at Augment Secure, which focuses on simplifying M365 security, and it's broken down into a number of dashboards. The first thing I want to show you is the threat report that Gavin mentioned in his presentation that we actually offer as an unlimited free service for MSPs, regardless of if you're a paying partner or not. And what this is doing, guys, is it's a report that's pulling in all of the risky metrics and information that is scattered across a particular MSP client account. So you can see here we're fully multi-tenant. I'm going to pick on my healthcare client here. We can generate reports that go as far back as 3 months. And the whole purpose is that this is a great sales prospecting tool as well as a conversation starter where you can take your customer through this white label report by highlighting, there's almost 200 risky things happening in your account, Mr. Customer. This trend is going up over time because we're not being proactive with your M365 security. You're a manufacturer or a dentist in Amsterdam in the Netherlands, so we're not sure why we're seeing risky activity coming from Russia or Canada or Australia. Microsoft has actually given you an identity score of 30%, which isn't great. Your secure score is actually even worse. And here are some of the types of risks that we're seeing, whether it's impossible travel or leaked credentials. Oh, and Bradley, you're the CEO of this organization, right? Well, you're actually one of the top accounts at risk here because you're constantly being attacked, probably unbeknownst to you. And if you're interested, Mr. Customer, in terms of all the things that are happening, we can actually extend this report and we can go into the detail of the who, what, where, when. But we're going to roll that up because we want to keep things high level for you here, and we're going to focus on a couple of main pillars of security. MFA, we know it's really important to have that on. So why are there 6 people at your organization that don't have it on whatsoever? There's also another 6 users here at your company that are registered as inactive. Are these people that are still with the company? Are they just not working? Either way, this is a great kind of backdoor opportunity for a bad actor to get into your system, and it's something that we want to remediate. So what this report does is, with the click of a button, it allows you to have a conversation with your prospect or your existing client that finishes with the question, how do you want me to handle the risk that I've uncovered for you today? So with this, it's something also you can export as a PDF, and with all the reports and dashboards I'm going to show you, it's very easy to schedule these as well. So once you've had that conversation, you can also jump into our security posture report. Again, fully multi-tenant. This begins to have a nice overlap with the MSP technician and your customers. At a high level, you can see which of your tenants actually need help in terms of getting everything turned on, getting those policies turned to green. Let's pick on legal in this case, where we can now jump in. And here it's listing all of the different Microsoft security postures and policies that should be in place in order to harden this environment. And you can clearly see what's compliant and turned on, what's not compliant. But the other cool thing is that if you're having trouble upselling current customers to Business Premium, this is a really effective report to highlight that Business Premium is not to make their PowerPoint better or enhance their Excel. It's to help unlock additional security features that only come with that license type. And without it, you simply can't even measure what's going on. You don't have access to that information. You can't lock that window, as Gavin said, because you don't have the key. You don't have access to that window. So it helps, again, simplify the different aspects of what is actually needed to happen. The nice thing is, yes,
if I can just add also, you can see the second to the right column where you can see the CIS and the NIST scores. So this allows you to see, we talk about, NIST2 and all that kind of stuff, but you can actually see if it's compliant or not, those security policies. So that really helps the conversation with the client.
Yeah, and if you're going through an exercise where you're mapping all of those, Augment really helps you connect the dots with this report as well. Now, Augment Autopilot, we always want to talk about putting your security on autopilot, and we do that with our baselining template functionality. So here we have a quick baselines. With the click of a button, I'm able to implement the following settings, which is a lot of the sort of non-negotiables, the things that everyone's going to want to have turned on anyway. So I can click that with this button. If I head over here to posture templates, we have some more advanced or detailed templates that, again, you as an MSP can apply to your tenants across your entire IT estate. So going down with this posture template, you can see things like unified logs, making sure external mail forwarding rules are on. And again, that's something that you can go through and update and edit yourself. But these are all the best practices that you're going to want, and you can roll that out to each client with the click of a button. So again, saving you a huge amount of time if you're a technician and just getting everything switched on. Some other reports you might be interested to see, we have an MFA report, which is really, really popular. Again, pulling in all of the MFA information specifically. So if you have an audit or there's an insurance claim, anything like that, you can easily see who has MFA on, what the status is, and then again, actually drill into the tenant level and get a user report where it shows their name, license type. Is MFA actually on? Are they protected? Yes or no? And how is it being configured? Is it through a conditional access policy? Is it through a zero per user? Or is it through a third-party application like Duo? And again, this is something that you can see and manage all from within the Augment platform, so you don't need to go poking around in different aspects of the Microsoft portal. Now, as Gavin mentioned, once you get everything set up and are proactive with actually configuring Microsoft, it's not a set it and forget it case. You want to have your alerts to make sure that if there is things like policy drift or any live threats, that you're picking up on that. And that's something Augment offers as well. So again, with the alerts, you can go to all companies and set up your different rules. You can drill into your specific tenant that you want to see. We've got a date filter here. We can go back as far as 3 months. It's going to give you some access and insight into the types of alerts that have been generated. The key thing with Augment is that with the alerts, we're leveraging the alert engine that exists already within Microsoft. The problem with Microsoft, very, very noisy. So what we're doing is giving you, the MSP, the ability to come in and simply categorize and filter the alerts you want to see. So you're able to go in and say, I only care about these specific alerts, and I only want a ticket sent through to my PSA if it's of this particular threshold. So maybe it's high, maybe it's medium. And in that way, you can reduce a lot of the noise that Microsoft creates when it's saying this update was done, this patch was deployed, and really only focus on the critical threats that you care about. Maybe it's a sign in from a risky country or something else of that nature. In addition, once those alerts come through, again, within Augment, you have the power to actually lock down that account with a click of a button. So again, if we go to our legal client here, we can filter things by accounts, and there can be all kinds of, let's see here, successful sign-in outside of an operating country. We're going to click the user here, Mr. Randy Bristol, and that's going to open up this little panel here where with the click of a button, we can do things like sign him out of all apps, block sign-in, and even reset his password, where all the best practices are baked in to make sure that it's a strong password. And I can send that to myself at the MSP, or I can send it to Randy's boss. And so in this way, you can also use people, who maybe aren't technical at your MSP. It could be an office admin or other folks to quickly lock down accounts when those alerts come through. Now, this is actually part of our Engage module, which I'll just hop into quickly over here, that has a lot more functionality to it than just simply resetting passwords. So again, clicking Randy, we can turn MFA on and off. We can manage what type of distribution lists or groups he's part of. We can change his license depending on the ones you have access to, or most importantly, we can actually offboard him as well. And again, Augment bakes in all the best practices. So password reset, signing him out of everything, blocking him from signing in, setting up a shared mailbox and creating forwarding rules for that shared mailbox, all with a click of a button. Next, review, finish, done. So again, instead of having to bury into the Microsoft portal and find Randy and do all these things manually, anybody, even a dummy like me, can do it with a few clicks of the button. So that's just a quick look at Engage. The other thing I wanted to show you just while I had some time is the ability to schedule reports. So, the theme here is around automation. And as you can see here, we have a bunch of reports that you can schedule the frequency of, whether it's daily, monthly. We covered things like the MFA report and the security posture report, the threat report. But Augment does have other ones like our summary report. That's the opposite to the threat report. It's this is what you're paying me for. That's a report that you're going to want to share every month or at least every quarter to show your work. Hey, I blocked these countries. I intercepted these risky sign-ins. These are all the things that I'm doing that you're paying me a monthly fee for. We also have a license report. So no more digging in the portal to kind of see who's got what license and how that's changed month to month. Augment pulls in all that information so you can do billing reconciliation as well as any disputes at the end of every month and have a really clear picture of all the licenses that you have within Microsoft. Our Discover module, which again, if you're interested in, Robin will show you, is all about a SaaS inventory. So that's actually showing you all the SaaS applications that your customers are using. A great data set if you have any cheeky customers that quote unquote can't afford cybersecurity services. Great, let me show you all the applications that you're using where you have SaaS sprawl, where you have people that are using 4 apps that do the same thing, where you have 30 licenses of Salesforce, but only 4 people use it. If we can actually save you some money, Mr. Customer, would you be able to put some of that towards cybersecurity and making sure that you don't get breached? So all of these are great reports that are white label, brandable for your MSP and can be definitely leveraged in your sales process, but more importantly, keeping tabs on your M365 environment so it's locked down, secure, and if anything bad's happening, you know about it. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing and hand it back to Gavin to close. And I know we've got some time for questions as well.
Yeah, and the most important thing to think is for full SaaS, applications, whether it's cloud-based or on the desktop, and your Microsoft security, this is your system of record. So you have a system of record for all the applications that are being used, all of the security, policies, postures, events that are happening. You now have this system of record for all of your customers in one central dashboard. So this is from a NIST2 type security and all of the new standards that are coming out. This is critical for you to be able to do this at a click of a button for your customers and to build your managed cloud security service practice. So that's what we want to help you with. And please, any questions, shoot.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you so much, Gavin and George, for a two-man show. And I've never saw something smooth as this. Giving a demo as well as talking through it. It's amazing. Yeah, I saw some questions, and George already answered one of them. For all the speakers, for everybody listening, I think we're going to be a bit delayed on the end time, but I see so many failures, so I don't see any problems. But if you need to go, no worries. We will send you the recording, of course. But for now, let's go over to Stefano. And thank you so much, Gavin and George, for your time and for your experience. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Of course. Stefano, welcome. And
Yes.
the last, but certainly not the least, thank you so much for joining and to give your expertise from the Hornet security perspective. If you are able to, you can throw up your presentation, and then we can.
Yes, it's coming
right away.
over. Just a second. I hope that you can hear me well.
Of course, 100%.
Great. Okay, it should be good now.
There he is.
Okay.
Awesome.
So thank you for having me. The goal today is to help you understand better Hornet security. As Robin said in the beginning, we are pretty big in Germany, but not only in Germany, we're pretty big in other countries as well. And the goal here is to give you an introduction about who we are and how we can help you with to increase your revenue and to help build you MSP cybersecurity stack. So first of all, my name is Stefano. I was formerly with a company that that has been acquired by Hornet Security. I come from Vade, and if you listen to the news, Hornet Security recently acquired Vade. It was 2 months ago. This means that now we are a pretty big company. I will go over the numbers in a bit. But what we will be talking today in Hornet Security is, of course, security. We'll be talking about backup. We'll be talking about compliance. And last, we will be talking about security awareness service as well. So as I was saying, we are one of the European leader. We got today over 700 employees, 17 offices right now. We address 12,000 partners or MSPs, and we have 75,000 customers in over 120 countries. So we have a worldwide presence, as you can see in these slides. I won't be annoying you with every single offices that we have, but what's important is that we have a very wide presence worldwide. And what you can see as well in these slides is that we got several data centers in several locations, which is very important, especially in terms of backup, because you can choose where you want the data to be stored in what locations. For example, in the US, in Europe, we have several data centers in Europe, in Japan as well, etc., etc. So this is our presence worldwide, 700 employees, several offices, so that we can accompany our customers and partners all around the world. So why are we talking now about cyber security and about Hornet security? This is something that Robin said previously, but the goal today is really to focus on Microsoft 365. Why is that? Because more and more companies are using this tool, and they are requesting a second source security for backup and also for compliance. And the high need of Microsoft 365 customers for a third-party solution is really the main engine for the high growth rates. And I will be explaining to you how we can help you achieve those high margin revenues as well. So first, before talking about Hornet security and what we can offer in terms of product and services, let me talk to you about some MSP pain points. This is some topics that my colleagues previously already addressed, but it's always good to have a reminder. So first of all, one of your major pain points can be in terms of support, billing, and also tools and interfaces, because more and more cybersecurity solutions right now, they are difficult to use. maybe you have several dashboards, you have several interfaces, so this can be more and more difficult. In terms of billing, maybe you have customers which are using several currencies as well, etc. So this is some of the pain points that you can face, and some pain points that our MSPs are facing. On top of that, we can have some limits with the services as well. Services that can be inflexible, services that are non-scalable, and we can also have some features limitations. So this is one thing. There can be another thing about compliance as well, especially in terms of archiving, disclaimers, and encryption. We can talk about GDPR, we can talk about NIS2, we can talk about some other compliances requisites that we can have. And also something really important is in terms of data security. A really important question to answer to is, how is the customer data backed up, and how big are the efforts? Because it's good to back up the data, but it needs to be easy. It needs to be manageable, and this is what I will show you in a bit. So first of all, this is the entire portfolio that we are proposing to our partners and to our end customers. So the commercial name of this offer is 365 Total Protection. So as you can see in this slide, it is made up of plans. There are 4 plans today, and the idea is really to have more and more products coming along, more and more services for you and your customers. And this is something which is really important because, again, if you remember the pain points I was telling you about a few minutes ago, we won't have several interfaces because all of these products, all of these plans, they all come with one single interface. So in terms of time management, it's something pretty interesting for you to have. So 4 plans, each with, of course, a different price tag, which are covering a very wide spectrum of all of your customers' cybersecurity needs. I won't be talking about pricing today. It's not the aim of the presentation. For that, I leave it to Portland. If you want to have some more questions about pricing, etc., you can just go to Portland. I won't be giving a very, let's say, specific description or presentation of each module because it can take a long time, and I'm sure that we won't have a lot of time today. But again, if you want to have some more information, please feel free to reach out to Portland or to me. It'd be my pleasure to help you out to go into some further details about the products and solutions. So as you can see, we have the business plan, we have the enterprise plan, we have the backup, and we have the compliance and awareness. So on that, the starting point is obviously email security. But as you can see, as we move forward, we'll see that we are going to go completely beyond this dimension to cover other aspects beside email security. So let's take a look at the plan and all the functionalities. So first, we have plan 1 and plan 2. They cover the mail area. So of course, this is the basic. This is the starting point. You have the spam and malware protection, but we also have encryption on this plan. In addition to that, you also have the ability to add the signature, more precisely to the content of outgoing emails, or you can also add a disclaimer. For example, if you want to make the recipient know that what you're sending right now, it's a confidential email. So all of this comes with plan 1. On the plan 2, it's again in the mail area. We have what we call ATP, which is Hornet Advanced Threat Protection. So ATP will include the link rewriting to protect your customers against phishing attacks. It will also include what we call the remediation. So it's the possibility to act on an email even if this email has been received by one of your end users. It will also include what we call the anti-spear phishing protection or user impersonation. So we have all of this, which is advanced threat protection. And on top of that, we are adding also a 4th layer of security, which is the sandboxing. I won't go into what the sandboxing is because I'm sure that you know what it is. But sandboxing is part of the plan 2 with this total protection suite. something that comes, something that I didn't say at the beginning, but if you go with plan 2, of course, we have plan 1. If you go with plan 3, you have plan 2 and plan 1, etc. To talk about again this plan, you also have legal archiving and alongside continuity. So continuity is a pretty good services as well, because in just a few seconds, you can have access to a webmails that takes over the email server if the mail server ever goes down. So with this, you are able to still receive some email. You are able to still send out some email. All of that from a web interface. So these features will have been very useful for certain customers who were recently attacked and were without email for almost 2 months. It's pretty ugly when we do not have an email for 1 or 2 days. Just imagine for 1 or 2 months. So this continuity allows you to still work with email, still receive some email, and still send out some emails. Then we have plan 3. Plan 3, it's with backup. So here we're talking about mailbox backup, of course, but we're also going to talk about some other features on that. So we're going to talk about backup of Teams conversation. We're going to talk about files backup as well, all the files that are shared in Teams, which can be pretty important in some companies. We'll be talking also about backup to OneDrive files, SharePoint, calendars, contact list as well. And we can even go onto the Windows workstation backups. And again, as I was saying previously, you can choose where you want the data to be stored. It can be in Europe, it can be in other countries, and you can leverage on all the data centers that we have. And again, it's completely unified, it's completely integrated, it's extremely easy to use because you can literally restore user information in just 4 or 5 clicks and within minutes. So it's a pretty powerful backup tool that we can offer. Finally, we have the plan 4, which is the latest plan to date. It came out a few months ago. So here we're going to address 2 main topics. We're going to talk about compliance, and we're going to talk about cybersecurity with awareness and education. So on the awareness and education side of cybersecurity, we'll be able to send some, let's say, fake attacks, some simulated attacks, just to understand how aware is the end users and if he can recognize an email threat or not. This was actually a strong demand that we got from the field, and this is why we implemented these features. This, let's say, cybersecurity tool comes also with the educational part. So you have access to a real e-learning platform with some educational subjects that are not only limited to phishing, but you can have also some kind of a workstation hygiene. For example, not plugging a USB key on your laptop, for instance. So there are a lot of subjects about educations as well, what a macrovirus is, what is a polymorphic malware is, etc., etc. So it's not only training your end users, but it's also educating your end users on that. So it's really a huge amount of content, and it's also aimed for a non-expert population because, of course, we cannot all be expert in everything. And the goal of these e-learning tools and the goal of these education tools are aimed to be understandable for a non-expert population. Then we have what we call the compliance sections, which will allow you to audit and implement some security rules. So here you can see that we have what we call the permission manager on SharePoint and OneDrive shares. So here is the goal is to identify with whom you are sharing some files, who has access to these files, and is the people that have access to these files actually can have access to these files. So the goal is really to give you an overview of all the files that you are sharing within your Microsoft environment, and to implement and to give access or to revoke some access some right access to some people in your organization. So again, it's a pretty powerful tool. And I'm sure if I'm asking you the question about do you know how many links or files that are shared within your organization, I'm pretty sure that your answer will be I have no idea. And this is what this tool will be helping you to do. Then we have the last block, which is a tool that uses AI to check the recipient and the content of the email. The goal of this is to avoid an email to be sent to the wrong person, or sometimes to send some inappropriate content. Maybe sometimes you want to send an email to your boss. Let's say you are kind of hungry. You are saying some not so nice things to your boss, and the AI tool will be able to say, okay, are you sure you want to send this email, or are you sure this is the right recipient? So this is based on artificial intelligence, and again, it will prevent you to send some miscorrect information and to send the email to the right recipient. So we also have, like my colleagues, some partner program. I will give you a little overview on that. We have several levels of partnership with the bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. The bigger level you have, and the more facilities you can have access to. For example, you can have access to marketing funds, you can have access to some qualified leads, etc., etc. So the bigger you grow, and the bigger you will have, you will be at our partner level as well. So you have some benefits as well. So of course, whenever you signed up for Hornet Security, you have a full access to all the service and product portfolio. You have access to the deal registration in order for you to be protected in terms of project. You have a partner portal which includes marketing materials, sales tool, pre-sales offer, etc., etc. We have also some online training courses as well. If you want your customers to be trained on our services, and of course, most of our services comes with free 30 days trials, so that you can try out the solution before actually ordering it. I tried to be very quick to be on time. I hope it was clear. Of course, I'm not a native English speaker, just like my other colleagues, but I hope it was clear. And if you have some questions, feel free to ask them or to ask Portland. I'd be happy to answer to that.
Mate, you did very good and very quick. Even for a not native English speaker, you did very good, man. Thank you so much for all the insights. And I got a question. One thing that I was wondering about the plan structure that you have. So you got plan 1, plan 2, plan 3, plan 4.
Yep.
How do you compare yourself as a company? Is it based on size which plan you choose, or is it based on what you need, or is it based on? Because if I got like email archiving in place already, what kind of plan do I choose? Where do I start from?
Well, the good thing is that I mean, you can buy the product separately. Of course, the goal of the plan is to have all the products at once for a better price, for sure. But the good thing is that you can have, for example, the plan 2, and not, for example, if you already have archiving, not activate archiving, for instance. So this is pretty flexible. Of course, here I presented some plans, but you can buy all the products separately. But yeah, we can. I hope that answers the question. But yeah, it's
awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. And I got one last question because I know Hornet very long already. The acquisition, of course, Vate. You were very involved in Vate. Yes. What's your expectation on the Benelux region for Hornet Security? What are your expectations?
So Benelux region for sure, it's a pretty interesting and big region for us, because in Vate we had already a team that was dealing with Benelux, and we hired some new people to cover the Benelux region as well. For sure, I mean, the market, it's probably not as big as the German or the DACH market, but it's a pretty interesting market as well. The company's size are a bit different as well, because we have maybe less very big companies. But I think that for the MSP market or for the end customers market, it's a pretty interesting market with a very good hygiene in terms of Microsoft. So this is what there is a very good growth opportunities to add some additional services on top of Microsoft as well.
Awesome. Yeah, and I see the same potential for Hornet Security. All right, thank you so much, Stefano, as well for your very brief and very thorough speech and introduction with Hornet Security. For everybody who got any questions about the products that we just reviewed, or just wants to talk about like building a proposition for M365, please follow the QR code. You can book directly in my calendar a meeting. Where we can talk about your proposition, about the margins that you're making, about the challenges that you have within the company, and me and the team will do our mainly best to help you solve those challenges and being a high performance MSP. I want to thank everybody who made time for today, and thank you so much. We will set the recording after this, and thank you so much for being active on this webinar. Thank you so much for everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Cheers.